At this time, if you have questions for any of our panelists, please bring them up. I'm happy to pose them with your questions and have them answered for you. It was really interesting to me to hear from this, not only the regional impact, but the international impact, the national impact that these businesses have. A lot of times we take for granted what's right in our backyard. So it was really exciting to hear what they're doing on a much, much larger scale. First question is for Tomah Memorial Hospital. Do federal or state antitrust laws honor your ability to discuss collaboration with Gunderson and Mayo?
Yes. You can always talk about collaboration. There are certainly fine lines that you cannot cross. So we're very cognizant of that. Usually when we start talking about antitrust for healthcare, it's related to what's called the Stark legislation. But yes, you certainly can. And I'll guarantee you that there are 3 healthcare systems that all have lawyers that are already looking at it.
I'm guessing this is for Naji. How did you get the white and blue colors on the Cranberry flag?
Okay, the blue is the natural water in the cranberry bed, and underneath the white stripes was solid cranberries. So we took long pieces of polyurethane foam packing material and laid them on top of the cranberries. But the problem was that, you know, if the wind would pick up, they might blow all over because it wasn't too heavy. So if you look carefully on the picture, there's puddles of water that was used just to, you know, keep the white foam packaging down. But what made it really unique is the fact that a helicopter came across and filmed this with the EDC cameras and with AP photographers, and with the video, it made it look like the flag was actually waving. The puddles dropped down the white stripes, and so it was just picture perfect, you know, but it wasn't planned that way. My guardian angel was doing something up there.
Thank you, Nachi. Kathy, what events, signs, open doors happened during the first year of business that showed your business idea could succeed?
Well, the first year was absolutely overwhelming. We opened for business on the 1st of May. Our gift shop started to be built on the 21st of April. And we actually did open for business on the 1st of May. And prior to even opening the business, I had bus tours booked. The first season, I thought probably I would do, you know, maybe 15 or 20 of these guided tours that I would just hop in people's cars with them and ride out into the Amish community. The first season, I did 101 tours. So that was off to a running start.
Jim, for the grants, do you have to be a nonprofit? Many organizations are small and need help, but are for-profit. That's one of 2 parts here we have. I'll start with that.
Generally, you do. They will review a particular business that puts it in there, but generally it is a nonprofit, yes.
Second question goes to Kathy or Naji. How do you get free PR to get people to talk to you to start up? Now we'll start with Kathy here.
Just contact them. Just be very, very persistent. I have a story that I tell often. I was very adamant about getting into Country Woman magazine. I believed that I had a country business and I should be in Country Business magazine. So I sent them in the early years, I sent them some pictures and a write-up about my business, and they promptly sent me some information back, a nice little letter that said thank you, but no thank you. This does not fit our editorial needs. So a couple of years later, we had grown a little bit, and I thought, maybe I should try again. I'm pretty persistent, so I wrote another letter to Country Woman magazine and sent them all kinds of pictures, and they sent me the nice little letter back again. Thank you, but no thank you. This does not fit our editorial needs. About a year later, we had grown a little bit more, and I decided one more time, you know what, I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to send them that letter one more time, and so I did. Sure enough, I got the letter. Thanks, but no thanks. The next year, I attended the Governor's Conference on Tourism. I was in Milwaukee that year, and while I was there, I had my brochures just out on a table. And someone from Ryman Publications picked up that brochure that day, and the next week I got a call from Country Woman magazine, and they asked me, "Where have you been? We would love to do a story on you, and could we make an appointment for somebody to come out? We'd like to send a photographer out, we'd like to send a writer out, and we'd like to put your story in our publication." So because they're about a year out, it took about a year process for that to happen, but in 2001, it was in their publication, and that publication goes all over the United States and into Canada and a couple of other countries. So persistence pays off.
Part of our publicity happens through the public relations firm of our Wisconsin State Cranberry Growers Association. That's their duty. And being chairperson of the PR committee, I have been trained to be a spokesperson. And so many times when media contacts them for anything cranberry, they call me up. And the one thing you always do is, I don't think I have ever refused an interview of some sort. You work your schedule around it somehow that you meet their needs. So that helps. The other is in our local, the state farm newspapers are very good about covering the cranberry industry. So anytime we have something of interest, they're more than happy to do that. And very locally, our Warrens Area Business Association has a wonderful website and a Facebook site. And since Warrens is known as the cranberry capital of Wisconsin, people get on that and see information, and then they start inquiring. And so being president of the Warrens Area Business Association also helps lead people to me.
I agree with Najee with that, is that you do need to make yourself available to the media, but you need to really put yourself out there a lot as well. She's very lucky because she has that PR firm that's putting her in touch with those people. When you're a really tiny little small business like myself and there's nobody else out there doing that for you, you really have to put yourself out there. And I'm lucky because I have kind of a unique business, so it is an interesting little story. We get very, very fortunate, like I said earlier, that we have had a lot of PR and media. A lot of times it can be a referral from another business as well, so do work with your other businesses. Another really quick little story, several years ago, Don and Donna Justin had a guest with them at their place of business, at their bed and breakfast, and that happened to be a writer for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. And this man, Donna referred him to me. She said, "You might want to go out and talk with Kathy." And that man showed up on a Saturday afternoon. I didn't have very much time to spend with him, but I did take him out on a little bit of a tour through Amish country. I ended up with a full-page spread in the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. A couple of weeks later, my daughter went to school one morning, and her high school principal called her into the office and said, "Congratulations." And she looked at him, and it just happened that he was from San Francisco, and that's originally where he's from, and his parents had called him up, and there had been a full-page article, was in the San Francisco Chronicle or something like that, one of the San Francisco newspapers, because the Associated Press had picked up that article. So it's out there, folks, you just have to go after it.
We found that just getting involved, we're in a number of counties. I think we're in every store in Iowa except for 4 different counties, different communities, and we really encourage our people, store managers, to get involved. We get into every thing we can that really makes sense to us and that we also can give back to the community. The fairs, the Chamber of Commerce, things that I know some of these store managers go, what do you want me to go to? And a lot of times, most of the times they come back and say, that was great. We really got our name out there and we talked and met some people. We had an organization that all their tools, they built homes for the less fortunate. All their tools were stolen. Jim Tyson immediately donated a bill, I think it was about $7,000 of tools. And he did that without making any noise, but the paper picked it up. And obviously that, it just went really huge. So, I mean, just by giving and caring to your community, no matter what size you are, no matter what you can give, is the best advertisement you'll ever get. It really is.
One last question for Naji. How did you select a husband that knew how to grow cranberries? And how do state regulatory agencies impact you?
Okay, I'll answer the two, but first I have to make one comment. Our real highlight this year for PR, I felt, was the fact that on Thanksgiving Day issue of the New York Times, we were featured on the front page of the food section. That was really big for us, so that was good. Okay, how did I meet my husband? This is a great story. Some of you know this. Anyway, basically, to make a long story short, because it could get long, but I was teaching at the time, and my father decided to retire from the marsh. And I'm an only child, and I have cranberries in my blood, so I decided to quit teaching and come back to the marsh and work on it and so forth. Well, the first year back, I knew, oh boy, am I in trouble. Here's this young, frilly little gal, thinking she can conquer the world and run this marsh. So I immediately knew that I needed a husband. Well, this is back 42 years ago now. Remember, 42 years ago, we did not have farmers.com to go to. So my dad told me, you either have to find a husband at church or at a bar. So I did go to church first. There was nobody. So it forced me to go to a bar. But being a school teacher, I had high criteria for this. I knew that I wanted a husband that, could work with the soil, hopefully had some type of agricultural background, and could run machinery, and better yet, fix it, and had a good work ethic. And I was very fortunate to find this gentleman at a bar and convince him to quit his job, which was a 4-H club youth agent in Clark County at the time, and come to the marsh. And the only thing he knew about growing cranberries was that on his home dairy farm, on Sundays, his mom always made the usual chicken, stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn meal, but had a huge bowl of cranberry sauce, and he loved cranberries. And he'd eat them with cranberry sauce on his hot oatmeal in the morning and on cottage cheese for a salad, and at night before he went to bed, over ice cream. And so I told him, if you marry me, I said, I can give you cranberries 365 days a year, 3 times a day, and that's what I did.